Good morning, everybody. Hurricane Milton just came through. I think the eye is passing over the east coast of Florida now. Here I am in South Kissimmee. Pretty noisy night. Winds got as high as 90 with gusts to 100 overnight. I've only seen one small tree pulled out of the ground so far. A couple of them partially pulled out. Some neighbors didn't bring their trash cans inside, so of course that trash is scattered all over the place. So they'll have a nice surprise. Lesson learned, hopefully. Pretty rare to have a hurricane this strong come through the Orlando area. There's still a curfew in place, though people with critical work are allowed to be out showing their ID, which is me since I'm going to the hospital. So there's a lot of broken branches and things in the street. So hopefully we can manage not to break the tires. I'm not sure how much of that you can see, but there's a lot of overhanging oak trees here. There were a lot of branches and organic material in the road. I'm going into the hospital around, and then I'll get the heck out of there. Only about 15 patients to see today. So I'm using FSD software 12.5.4.1, just updated the evening before the hurricane got here, so I've not really driven with it very much. But I'll go ahead and activate it and we'll see how it does. Hopefully it can avoid some of these road hazards. If not, I'll have to do this in manual mode, since this is certainly an unusual circumstance. So there, it's activated. Another area with a lot of leaves and small branches in the road. I'm going in about an hour later than usual just so there'd be some visibility. There is one area on Cypress Parkway that has had a tendency to flood in the past, but they had reworked the drainage, so it hasn't flooded lately. I think we got 7 or 8 inches of rain in the last 24 hours though, so let's see what happens. But really, the lakes in the neighborhood, they're maybe a little higher than normal, but I don't see any of the docks covered up. But our neighborhood lakes pour into Lake Toho. And I imagine they drew that lake down before the storm arrived, knowing there'd be a lot of runoff coming in from the neighborhoods around it. The release notes for this version just said minor improvements and bug fixes. Some people online say it does a better job at getting into turn lanes earlier, but haven't really heard any other changes. We're not going to be able to test going through barricades because the neighborhood removed the barricades before the storm just in case there were power outages. My lights blinked off once for about 30 seconds at 3 in the morning, and that was it. So it would be nice if we slowed down for these speed bumps. In the middle of the road barricades are knocked over, but at least they're not blocking traffic. So it slowed down for those speed bumps. But that was where there's normally a security gate. But again, they've left it wide open just to keep anybody from getting trapped inside the neighborhood in the event the electricity went out. And there are widespread electricity outages. Our wiring is underground, which I guess has saved us. But they said on the news this morning that as many as 3 million people in Florida are without electricity, and the population's only 20 million, give or take. So it's 7:27 a.m. and again the curfew runs until 10 a.m. A puddle of water there. The wind right now is only gusting up as high as, for the most part, 15 or 20 miles an hour. The airport was reporting 40, but that sometimes is an hour old. The first car of the day, heading north on Pleasant Hill. So there's still electricity here, obviously, with the traffic lights. I'm going to raise the camera a little bit. So the camera is just a little bit below my eye level now. Pretty long light considering there's no traffic. So that makes 2 cars I've seen today. This is only a 4.7 mile run. GPS says 15 minutes. Normally would not be very challenging. The last video I did of this route, though, it missed the turn into the hospital. Normally I have the car going 13% above the speed limit. I'm going to lower it down to the speed limit, just since we might have some road hazards. But this area of the road looks pretty clear. Schools are closed, but I can see the school zone lights blinking up ahead. There's just a little bit of a mist of rain. But I've got Rain-X on the windshield, so the wipers have not turned on. So we've got flashing lights and it says 20 miles an hour. And the car blasted through and didn't see it, so I'm going to manually tone it down. So those were legitimate speed limit signs. Black text on white signs underneath the blinking lights, but the car totally missed the school zone and was going to blast through at 55 miles an hour. So that's the first failure. And another reason why this is still supervised FSD. So the speed limit changes to 45 here. We got some yellow signs, but in the middle of the yellow sign is a white sign saying speed limit 45. Again, black text, white background, and ignored by the FSD. So I'll tune it up to 45. So that's failure number 2. Now I'm in the left lane, which gets trapped or sequestered into being a left turn lane a little bit up ahead. And we can see here this traffic light is without power. So I'm going to slow down a little bit. So there's no electricity here, so the car slowed down. It came to a stop. That's interesting. So this time the car did seem to recognize that the lights were not working and treated that as a stop sign. So that was correct behavior. I didn't know it would do that. We do need to get out of this lane to be able to continue, or we're going to be trapped into a left turn. So let's see how it handles that. A little bit more trash in the road. See a little division sign up ahead. This is a little hard to anticipate because you really can't show this very well. So I'm going to disengage because I've got to change lanes. So that was failure number 3, but that's a pretty common failure. And I'll go ahead and re-engage. So we got another traffic light that's out. it sees the traffic lights on the screen, but it just drove right through. So previously it treated it as a stop sign, but this time it just drove through. We've got some garbage in the road that it tried to go around to the limits that it could with that Jeep passing us. So we managed not to hit the stuff. So some of the businesses over there have a little electricity, like the Burger King. The traffic light here is out, and it looks like there's some kind of debris in the road again. Plant life, and it does go around it properly, so that was handled pretty well. So the Jeep is coming to a stop, and so are we. So again, it's treating the traffic light out as a stop sign, as a four-way stop. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? And we don't really have any flooding here. So you can see the drainage ditches have a lot of water, but before this whole road got covered on a previous tropical storm. So they have improved the drainage a bit. Fuel self-driving may be degraded, poor weather detected. I just activated the windshield wipers since they didn't turn themselves on. That's probably where the problem was coming from. And now we have some electricity again, traffic lights working, and the businesses have lights. So we're pretty close to the hospital now. 0.6 miles. So we'll see if it's going to miss the turn in. There's 2 ways to turn into the hospital. The GPS has picked the main entrance as opposed to the side road that goes to the hospital parking area. So these lights are on blink, but they do have power. I guess they reset somehow. And we're going 50 miles an hour. We got the turn signal, and we are taking the right turn lane. So this is an improvement over last time where it just blew right past this entrance. And here we are arriving. So I'll disengage here because I got to get to the doctor's lot. So there you have it, version 12.5.4.1 FSD. So it missed some speed limit signs, missed a school zone, and it missed one of the traffic lights that was without power. But 2 of the traffic lights that had no power, it treated properly as a stop sign. Until next time, see you later.